The world of Dragon Ball was once a place of balance, where the forces of good and evil clashed in epic battles, but always with a glimmer of hope for the heroes to prevail. However, in this alternate timeline, the story takes a darker turn as the legendary Saiyan warrior, Son Goku, succumbs to the shadows within his heart. The tale begins with the aftermath of the Cell Games, where Goku's selfless sacrifice had saved Earth. But this time, something was different. The weight of his endless battles, the loss of his friends, and the constant struggle to protect a world that never truly understood him began to gnaw at his spirit. Unbeknownst to his allies, a seed of darkness had been planted within him, and it was about to sprout. The story opens on a desolate battlefield, the remnants of a once thriving city now reduced to rubble. The sky was a swirling mass of dark clouds, illuminated by the occasional flash of lightning. Goku stood at the center of the chaos, his usual cheerful demeanor replaced by a cold, distant expression. His eyes, once filled with warmth and determination, now glowed with an eerie crimson hue. Beside him stood Vegeta, the proud Saiyan prince, who had fought alongside Goku countless times but always with a simmering rivalry. Vegeta sensed something was amiss. "Kakarot," he growled, his voice laced with suspicion, "what's gotten into you? You're not yourself." Goku turned to face him, a sinister smirk creeping across his face. "I've finally realized the truth, Vegeta," he replied, his voice dripping with malice. "Strength is the only thing that matters in this universe. And I intend to claim it, no matter the cost." The tension between the two Saiyans was palpable, their auras flaring as they prepared for battle. Vegeta, ever the warrior, refused to back down. "If you've gone mad, Kakarot, then I'll be the one to put you down," he declared, his fists clenched. With a roar, Vegeta powered up to his Super Saiyan 2 form, his golden hair crackling with energy. Goku, however, remained eerily calm. His transformation was unlike anything Vegeta had ever seen. Instead of the familiar golden glow, Goku's aura turned a deep, menacing black, his hair shifting to a dark, shadowy hue. This was no ordinary Super Saiyan form, it was something far more sinister. The battle began with a thunderous clash, their fists colliding with such force that shockwaves rippled through the air, shattering the ground beneath them. Vegeta launched a flurry of punches, each one aimed with precision and power, but Goku effortlessly dodged or blocked every strike. "Is this all you've got, Vegeta?" Goku taunted, his voice cold and mocking. Enraged, Vegeta unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, the attacks lighting up the sky as they homed in on Goku. But with a wave of his hand, Goku deflected the blasts, sending them spiraling harmlessly into the distance. "You're wasting your time," Goku said, his smirk widening. "You're no match for me anymore." Desperate, Vegeta charged forward, his movements a blur as he aimed a devastating punch at Goku's chest. But Goku caught his fist mid-air, his grip like iron. With a swift motion, Goku countered, driving his knee into Vegeta's stomach with such force that the prince was sent flying, crashing into a nearby mountain. The impact caused the mountain to crumble, sending boulders raining down. Vegeta struggled to his feet, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. You've gone too far, Kakarot," he gasped, his voice filled with both anger and disbelief. Goku hovered above him, his dark aura pulsating with power. "This is the way it has to be," he said coldly. "Only the strongest deserve to rule." As the battle raged on, the stakes grew higher. Vegeta, realizing the gravity of the situation, decided to unleash his ultimate attack. Gathering all his energy, he began to charge a final flash, the massive energy sphere glowing with intense power. "This ends now, Kakarot," Vegeta shouted, his voice echoing across the battlefield. He released the attack, the beam of energy surging toward Goku with blinding speed. But to Vegeta's horror, Goku simply raised his hand and absorbed the energy, the dark aura around him growing even stronger. "Pathetic," Goku sneered. With a swift motion, he appeared behind Vegeta, his hand glowing with dark energy. Before Vegeta could react, Goku plunged his hand into the prince's chest, his fingers closing around Vegeta's heart. "Goodbye, Vegeta," Goku whispered, his voice devoid of emotion. With a sickening crunch, he crushed Vegeta's heart, the Saiyan prince collapsing to the ground, lifeless. The death of Vegeta sent shockwaves through the universe, but Goku felt no remorse. His transformation into this dark version of himself was complete, and he now set his sights on an even greater threat, Majin Buu. The ancient evil had been resurrected, its malevolent energy spreading across the planet. But Goku no longer saw Buu as a threat, he saw him as a challenge, an opportunity to prove his dominance. As Buu's grotesque form emerged from the shadows, Goku prepared for the ultimate battle. The stage was set for a clash of titans, one that would determine the fate of the universe. Goku's strength and skills had reached unprecedented levels, his dark transformation granting him powers beyond imagination. His movements were faster, his attacks more devastating, and his aura more menacing than ever before. Buu, sensing the immense power radiating from Goku, let out a guttural laugh. "You think you can defeat me?" The creature taunted, its voice a grotesque blend of childish glee and sinister malice. Goku didn't respond with words. Instead, he launched himself at Buu, his fists blazing with dark energy. The battle that followed was a spectacle of destruction, the two combatants trading blows that shook the very foundations of the earth. As the fight reached its climax, Goku decided to end it once and for all. Channeling all his energy, he began to form a spirit bomb, but this was no ordinary spirit bomb. The energy he gathered was tainted with darkness, the once pure technique now a weapon of destruction. Buu, realizing the danger, tried to interrupt, but Goku's speed was unmatched. With a final, deafening roar, Goku unleashed the attack, the massive energy sphere engulfing Buu in a blinding explosion of light and darkness. When the smoke cleared, Buu was no more, his malevolent presence erased from existence. But Goku's victory came at a cost. The darkness within him had grown stronger, consuming his soul. As he stood amidst the ruins of the battlefield, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly light, he knew there was no turning back. The once heroic Saiyan had become a harbinger of destruction, and the universe would never be the same. This was only the beginning of Goku's descent into darkness, and the world would soon learn the true meaning of fear. The battlefield was a chaotic storm of energy blasts, shattered earth, and the deafening roar of clashing titans. Goku, now consumed by the darkness within him, stood at the center of the devastation, his once bright and carefree eyes now glowing with a sinister crimson hue. His transformation into a malevolent force had sent shockwaves through the Z fighters, and none felt it more acutely than Vegeta, who now lay battered and broken at Goku's feet. The Saiyan Prince, pride shattered and body trembling, struggled to rise, his bloodied fists clenched in defiance. "Kakarot! You've gone too far," Vegeta growled, his voice a mix of fury and despair. Goku smirked, his aura crackling with dark energy as he loomed over his fallen rival. "Too far? This is just the beginning, Vegeta. You were always holding me back." With a swift, merciless motion, Goku thrust his hand forward, a concentrated blast of energy piercing through Vegeta's chest. The Saiyan Prince gasped, his eyes wide with shock, before collapsing lifelessly to the ground. The death of Vegeta sent a ripple of terror through the remaining fighters. Gohan, Piccolo, and the others stared in horror as Goku turned his gaze toward them, his expression devoid of any trace of the man they once knew. "Your turn," Goku said coldly, his voice echoing with an otherworldly menace. Gohan, fueled by a mix of grief and rage, unleashed his full power, his hair spiking into the golden aura of Super Saiyan 2. "Dad, stop this. You're not yourself," Gohan shouted, charging forward with a flurry of punches and kicks. Goku effortlessly dodged each attack, his movements fluid and precise, as if he were toying with his son. "You've grown stronger, Gohan," Goku said, his tone almost mocking. "But you're still no match for me." With a sudden burst of speed, Goku appeared behind Gohan, delivering a devastating elbow strike to his back that sent him crashing into the ground. Piccolo, seeing an opening, launched a series of energy blasts from his hands, aiming to distract Goku long enough for Gohan to recover. "Special Beam Cannon," Piccolo shouted, charging his signature attack. Goku turned his attention to the Namekian, his expression unimpressed. "Predictable," Goku muttered, raising his hand and deflecting the beam with a casual swipe. Before Piccolo could react, Goku closed the distance between them, delivering a powerful kick that sent Piccolo flying into a nearby mountain. The impact created a massive crater, dust and debris raining down as Piccolo struggled to rise. As the battle raged on, the fighters began to realize the grim reality: Goku's power was beyond anything they had ever faced. His dark transformation had amplified his strength to unimaginable levels, and his combat skills were sharper than ever. Gohan, refusing to give up, pushed himself to his limits, his aura flaring brighter as he tapped into the depths of his Saiyan heritage. "I won't let you destroy everything, Dad," Gohan roared, charging at Goku with renewed determination. The two clashed in a blinding explosion of energy, their fists and feet moving faster than the eye could follow. Each strike sent shockwaves through the battlefield, the ground trembling beneath their feet. Gohan managed to land a solid punch to Goku's face, momentarily staggering him, but Goku quickly recovered, countering with a brutal uppercut that sent Gohan soaring into the air. Meanwhile, Buu, sensing the chaos, emerged from the shadows, his grotesque form pulsating with raw power. The Majin's laughter echoed across the battlefield as he unleashed a barrage of energy blasts, targeting both Goku and the Z fighters. Goku, unfazed by Buu's interference, turned his attention to the Majin, his eyes narrowing. "You're next," Goku said, his voice cold and menacing. Buu grinned, his body morphing and expanding as he prepared to engage the Dark Saiyan. The two titans collided in a cataclysmic explosion of energy, their movements a blur of speed and ferocity. Goku's dark aura clashed with Buu's chaotic energy, creating a maelstrom of destruction that threatened to consume everything in its path. As the battle between Goku and Buu intensified, the Z fighters regrouped, their resolve hardened by the dire situation. Gohan, Piccolo, and the others knew they had to find a way to stop Goku before it was too late. "We need to work together," Gohan said, his voice firm. "If we combine our powers, maybe we can reach him." Piccolo nodded, his expression grim. "It's our only chance." The fighters joined hands, their auras merging into a single, radiant beam of energy. They directed the beam toward Goku, hoping to break through the darkness that had consumed him. The energy struck Goku, enveloping him in a blinding light. For a moment, it seemed as though the plan had worked, but then the light dissipated, revealing Goku still standing, his dark aura stronger than ever. "Fools," Goku sneered. "You think your combined power can stop me? I am beyond your understanding." With a wave of his hand, Goku unleashed a massive energy wave, sending the Z fighters flying in all directions. The battlefield was now a wasteland, the air thick with smoke and the acrid smell of burnt earth. Goku turned his attention back to Buu, his expression one of cold determination. "Time to end this," Goku said, raising his hands to the sky. The dark clouds above began to swirl, energy from the surrounding area converging into a single, massive sphere. "This is the end, Buu," Goku declared, his voice echoing with finality. Buu, realizing the danger, attempted to flee, but Goku's energy sphere grew larger and larger, its power overwhelming. With a final, deafening roar, Goku hurled the sphere toward Buu, the impact creating a blinding explosion that lit up the sky. As the dust settled, the battlefield fell silent. Buu was gone, obliterated by Goku's devastating attack. The Z fighters, battered and broken, stared in disbelief at the scene before them. Goku stood amidst the ruins, his dark aura flickering as he turned his gaze toward the horizon. "It's over," Goku said, his voice devoid of emotion. But as the words left his lips, a faint glimmer of light appeared in his eyes, a spark of the man he once was. The battle had pushed him to his limits, and now, as the darkness began to recede, Goku's true self struggled to break free. The fight was far from over, and the Z fighters knew they had one last chance to save their friend, and the world. The final battle between Goku, Vegeta, and Majin Buu reached its climax as the skies above Earth churned with chaotic energy. Goku, now fully consumed by his dark transformation, stood as a terrifying force of destruction. His once bright and cheerful demeanor had been replaced by a cold, calculating rage. Vegeta, battered and bloodied, struggled to his feet, his pride shattered but his resolve unbroken. He glared at Goku, his rival and now his greatest enemy. "Kakarot," Vegeta growled, his voice trembling with a mix of fury and despair, "you've crossed a line you can never return from. I won't let you destroy everything we fought for." Goku's eyes glowed with an eerie crimson light as he smirked, his voice dripping with malice. "You're too weak to stop me, Vegeta. You always were. This universe doesn't need warriors like you, it needs a new order, and I'll create it by force if I must." The two scions clashed in a blinding explosion of energy, their fists colliding with such force that the ground beneath them cracked and crumbled. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of punches, each strike fueled by his desperation to bring Goku back to his senses. But Goku, now far stronger than ever before, effortlessly deflected each blow, countering with devastating kicks and energy blasts that sent Vegeta sprawling. "You're pathetic," Goku sneered, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. "You've always relied on your pride, but it's never been enough. Watch as I destroy everything you hold dear." With a swift motion, Goku charged a massive energy blast in his hand, aiming it directly at Vegeta. The Prince of Scions, realizing he was outmatched, closed his eyes, accepting his fate. But before Goku could deliver the final blow, a sudden surge of energy interrupted the battle. Majin Buu, who had been silently observing the fight, unleashed a deafening roar as his body began to mutate. The pink, gelatinous monster transformed into a more sinister form, his power skyrocketing to unimaginable levels. "You think you can control this universe?" Buu bellowed, his voice echoing across the battlefield. "I'll destroy both of you and remake it in my image." Goku turned his attention to Buu, his smirk widening. "You're just another obstacle in my way," he said coldly. "I'll deal with you first." The two titans charged at each other, their collision creating a shockwave that leveled the surrounding landscape. Goku's dark energy clashed with Buu's chaotic power, the sheer force of their battle threatening to tear the planet apart. Vegeta, barely conscious, watched as the two forces of destruction fought with reckless abandon. He knew he couldn't defeat either of them alone, but he also knew he couldn't give up. Summoning every ounce of strength he had left, Vegeta rose to his feet, his body trembling with exhaustion. "I may not be strong enough to stop them," he muttered to himself, "but I can buy time. For Earth. For my family. For Kakarot, even if he's lost himself." With a determined roar, Vegeta launched himself into the fray, attacking both Goku and Buu with everything he had. His attacks were relentless, but they barely fazed the two combatants. Still, Vegeta's persistence began to wear them down, creating openings that he hoped someone else could exploit. As the battle raged on, Goku's dark energy began to wane, the strain of his transformation taking its toll. His movements became slower, his attacks less precise. Buu, sensing weakness, pressed his advantage, landing a series of brutal blows that sent Goku crashing into the ground. But even as Goku struggled to rise, his resolve remained unshaken. "You think you've won?" Goku spat, his voice filled with venom. "I'll show you true power." With a final surge of energy, Goku unleashed his ultimate technique, the Spirit Bomb. But this was no ordinary Spirit Bomb, it was infused with his dark energy, a twisted version of the technique he had once used to protect the universe. The massive orb of energy grew larger and larger, its destructive power unmatched. Vegeta, realizing the danger, shouted at Goku. "Stop! You'll destroy everything." But Goku ignored him, his eyes locked on Buu. With a deafening roar, Goku hurled the Dark Spirit Bomb at Buu, the sheer force of the attack obliterating everything in its path. Buu, caught off guard, was consumed by the explosion, his body disintegrating into nothingness. But the victory came at a cost. The energy from the Spirit Bomb began to spiral out of control, threatening to engulf the entire planet. Vegeta, knowing he had only one chance to save Earth, flew toward the center of the explosion, using his own energy to contain the blast. "Kakarot," Vegeta shouted, his voice filled with both anger and sorrow. "This is on you. But I won't let you destroy everything we fought for." With a final, desperate effort, Vegeta unleashed all of his remaining energy, creating a barrier that contained the explosion. The force of the blast was immense, but Vegeta's sacrifice saved the planet. As the dust settled, Goku stood alone amidst the ruins, his dark energy fading. He looked down at his hands, the weight of his actions finally sinking in. "What have I done?" he whispered, his voice trembling with regret. Vegeta's sacrifice had not only saved Earth but it also brought Goku back from the brink of darkness. The realization of what he had become filled Goku with shame. He fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely audible. "I'm so sorry." In the aftermath of the battle, the universe was forever changed. Vegeta's sacrifice was remembered as the ultimate act of heroism, a testament to his growth as a warrior and a person. Goku, burdened by guilt, vowed to atone for his actions, dedicating himself to protecting the universe he had once sought to destroy. The balance of power had shifted, and the future remained uncertain. But one thing was clear, the bonds of friendship and the strength of the human spirit had prevailed, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. The scars of the battle would remain, but they served as a reminder of the cost of power and the importance of staying true to oneself. And so, the universe moved forward, forever shaped by the actions of those who had fought to protect it.